Hello and welcome back. So today I am joined with the amazing Geraldine Crane. Geraldine, say hi.
Hi.
Geraldine, what is it that you do? Before we go into anything else today, tell us a little bit about you.
So I help people who haven't been made to feel seen, heard, that they matter, that they're safe and loved and accepted. And my other word for that is they haven't been made to feel cherished. Particularly, my specialism is by mum. So I specialize in mother wounds. But the way I help people to move forward from that is to connect them with the love of their spirit guides. So it's through their connection with their spirit guides that they discover how incredible they are and precious and powerful, and that they've got the power to say no to what drains them, including their mother, and say yes to what lights them up, what brings them peace and joy without feeling guilty. Realizing it's okay to put yourself first, and find their voice to stand up for themselves. So that's what I do. I do it as a spiritual hypnotherapist, coach, mentor, run circles, do one-to-one work online, in person, all sorts.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. Your work is so needed. And this is something I love about the spiritual space. It's not just a case of flipping a switch and your mindset's changed, is it? It's about that deep rooted programming from the subconscious, from the past lives, from even, generational, ancestral, just all of that stuff that we in the 3D world take for granted, I think sometimes. And I know myself through my own healing journey just how profound the work that you do is. So what got you started in that in the first place? Because that's like a golden nugget question for many spiritual entrepreneurs, but
Yeah, it's a long story, so I'll try and keep it really short. My spiritual journey started when I was 19. I joined a spiritual circle and just discovered this ability to connect with spirit guides. The the more professional background is I was a probation officer for 10 years. And that time I also worked with substance misuse and addiction. And there's a very close link between trauma bonding and addiction. They work in very similar ways. And I moved on to working with survivors of domestic abuse and helping in the emotional recovery. And it was through doing that work at the same time becoming a mother, at the same time accessing counseling, that I started to realize that my relationship with my mother was emotionally abusive. Um, we had a deeply enmeshed relationship, and that was because when I was 12 years old, I became her carer. But it wasn't just for her physical needs, which was a lot and very demanding, but it was for her emotional and mental needs. And we got into that very much parentification. So I had to parent her. And the weight of that caused me to have severe anxiety. For my first breakdown, I was 19.
mm,
But when I had my third, when I was 35, and I lost my job working for a women's charity, and I wasn't parenting my children the way I wanted to do. I couldn't make decisions about basic food and dress, and I wasn't functioning. It was when I was back with my counselor, and she just said, "Well, what would life look like without your mother in it?" And I had to, start putting boundaries in with my mum, and the response I got was so awful that it was very clear to me that I had to cut contact. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done because we were very close, but it had become so painful
mm,
and caused, I was in such a bad place, and I knew I couldn't heal. It was like I was swimming in poison and I had to get out. And I tried everything else and it just wasn't working. So I cut contact with her. And whilst it was the hardest thing I've ever done, it's also one of the things I'm most proud of, and it has freed me the most. And I now parent in a completely different way, and I'm able to be present with people in a completely different way, including myself. And that's come from a really big healing journey since then,
mm.
training as a hypnotherapist, reconnecting with my spiritual development on an even deeper level, discovering and diving into all sorts of spiritual principles and ideas, Eckhart Tolle, Michael Singer, Wayne Dyer, who I absolutely adore, the three principles, so many different spiritual approaches, and then realizing through my hypnotherapy what a powerful tool it is to help people connect with their own spiritual guides, angels, past loved ones, but also their own inner divinity. And when I started doing that, my work just went on another level, and the impact it has on people is beautiful, but particularly if they carry mother wounds or other childhood trauma, it's powerful stuff.
I hear that. I hear that. And it is powerful.
Mm.
I resonate a lot with what you share, different situations and
Mm.
circumstances, but that's almost quite similar to how I came into the spiritual world myself. It was definitely forced through healing,
Mm.
actually, not just the fact that I was awake to other things, but it just happens that way, doesn't it?
Mm.
So, having gone through that now, and obviously you've then chosen to continue that growth with other people and show them the way through your own lived experiences, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, by the way. So, when you saw this event, the Business Ascension Symposium and Awards,
Mm.
what sparked interest for you immediately with that?
It was a spiritual business awards. I mean, that's just not out there, is it? There's lots of other business awards, and you just think, well, I don't fit. I don't fit in there. That's not and I think I'd feel quite uncomfortable in some of the rooms as well. I know there's lots of business events at the minute that are really lovely, big, out loud and proud events, which I love and appreciate and support. But my business is serene. You know, that's the brand is serene, serene spiritual. And and this fit, like, do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I will be in a room full of people that I will resonate and connect with, and it to me it was such an honor to be nominated. It just and to be nominated twice was so beautiful, particularly for the nominations that I got. You know, heart-centered business. Everything I do is about the heart. Everything's about opening the heart, bringing love in from the universe. It's just, oh yeah, everything's about love for me. And then the diversity, equality, and inclusion. You know, I have a daughter who's autistic. I'm ADHD. I was a carer from being 12. You know, I'm very aware of. You try going around shops in a wheelchair, like you know, I'm very aware of that area. I've The LGBTQ community means a lot to me because I grew up around a theatre, and most of the men I grew up around were gay, and to me that was just normal. I just don't I really struggle to see why it's an issue, like, and I just want to support all that community. I've come up against issues around trans community in spiritual female realms before, which I've pulled well away from because of that issue. And it's something I've tried to shout out about more recently. My business is very open, all inclusive. I am going to swear in a minute, and I'm warning you, but
No, go for
um,
it. I'm a
but
swearer.
I have a new rule, and my business was women only until I really became aware, thanks to other activists in the area, that that would mean I was cutting some people out that I didn't want to cut out, and I wasn't making it clear enough. So now I'm very, very out and proud that I'm a very inclusive business. Men are included too. The only exclusion is twats. That's my only rule.
Yeah.
That's
See,
not
I've
allowed.
never had that in my no, I've never had that in my world where people are excluded.
Mm,
That doesn't into my space, you know.
mhm.
Um, but I've learned through the DEI that inadvertently, just
Yeah.
because of things we're not aware of, that we can be
Mm,
excluding people. So that's something that I've recently learned and opened the door to learning more of. And
mm,
someone also said to me recently, like, but you only work with women, Vicky. I'm like, says who? That's not in my branding. That's not in my language. That's not the
mm.
truth.
It was very
What
much in
people
mine, and I've
perceive.
shifted completely. And there was a reason for it. A lot of the women who have experienced mother wounds have also experienced domestic abuse. And I've worked in environments where women would struggle with male bodies in the room. So, but I really, really want to make sure that everybody is welcome in my space. And if there is women that need that extra support around that safety, I think I can hold that space for them. I think I can help them with that. And I would always want to hear from everybody. And I certainly don't think the main danger to women is trans community in any way, shape, or form. From my experience
No.
in all my career, I know that's certainly not true.
But again, like these are things that I'm learning around the DEI stuff.
Mm,
I had never heard of a trans person feeling unsafe in a spiritual community until a few weeks ago
mm,
because it wasn't in my vocabulary. It wasn't in my
mm.
mind. I didn't
I
have
have
that lived
witnessed it a few
experience.
times, I'm afraid. Yeah.
So
That's
for
why I
me, it
pulled
was a bit
away.
of a culture shock.
Mm,
It's like, what do you
mm,
mean I don't understand? But without that understanding, we can't open that mind, we can't open those doors to exploration, can we? So
no.
I found it really interesting to open that door to DEI. So well done to you for being a champion for it.
Mm.
As I am only just kind of starting my journey and
I
understanding
think
a bit
we're
more.
all learning. I'm still, I'm a privileged white female middle class, I've got a lot to learn. We're always learning, but I think it's being very important that being open and ready to hear it. I noticed recently that all the women on my photographs are white, and it's just like, oh, I don't like. I live in a very white dominant area, so that's why. But I don't want that on my imagery. I want other women from all sorts of backgrounds, of any genders, any diver. I want everybody to know they're welcome.
Yeah,
So
I love
that's
that. And that
something I'm
was,
working on.
yeah, that was something that I wanted specifically for these awards as well. Like,
Mm,
it's not predominantly a white woman show because spirituality comes from all kinds of backgrounds. It's just look at the different cultures and the way spirituality blends between those cultures. And that is something that I would really like to see moving forward is that we're bringing in different cultures with the spirituality because of the business connection to it. We
mm,
don't do spirituality without doing the business side of it because
mm,
when you're in that space, you can't because you have to just focus on the spirituality, which then becomes the business anyway. And that's just the way it is. I mean, look at the Chinese medicines. You've got I don't know how to politically correctly say it, so I'm just going to say it. You've got the Aborigines and how they used to blend in
mhm,
the cultures from that background as well. And then you've got the ancestrals, you've got your stereotypical witches and the covens from the stories and the myths. And then,
mm.
so there's all kinds of different aspects of
Well, every
spirituality.
culture has a spiritual background. I think the spirituality sometimes gets, when I say I'm a spiritual, I'm very spiritual, people think I mean a spiritualist, and that has a background in white Victorian background. So I think sometimes that gets mixed up. I think, that as a community are very open too, but I think because it has a background in a white Victorian era, sometimes things can get mixed up. But it's
Yeah,
spirituality to me, spirituality is love.
yeah,
Some of the most spiritual, loving people I know are atheists, actually. But I always say to them, but but you are love. Like all you give is love, and to me, that's the most spiritual thing you can do.
yeah,
Um, so to me, it's not about that. It's about the love and a unity and acceptance, and that's what matters.
absolutely. And I completely share that. Even if we don't always say it in the way that we mean it, that is what we're meaning.
Yeah, but it's just it's learning. It's learning. There's conversations I've had to have with older family members about what's appropriate wording, and it's learning, but it's being willing to learn and being open to it and being ready, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So you've stepped into this crazy world that we're opening up a door for. You've become a nominee. You've then gone into finalist. Yes, so you're a
Mhm.
finalist as well. How did it feel when you received that email?
That was a surprise. I wasn't, I never thought I'd really get into the finalists because I'm still quite a small business and I'm still building up, um, really wanting to build up the momentum, but I'm still, because I'm afraid last year I had to take months out of my business because I had breast cancer and had a mastectomy, and had to recover from that operation, which got infected. And so I had a very difficult year last year. And then this year, there's been some family issues that have made me have to step back. And then I broke my leg in 3 places at the beginning of the summer. So I've had a lot of having to slow down in my business and not have the momentum that I would have liked to have had. So yeah, it was a surprise, but really a very pleasant one.
Yeah,
One I
but
feel very honored.
sometimes as well, like you can feel like you're not doing enough, but
Mm.
actually your community is like you're doing more than enough. And sometimes your community putting you forward for that nomination was obviously the recognition of
Mm.
you're doing really well, even with all
Mm.
the challenges, the adversity, the setbacks, the frustration even of, oh my gosh, what now? What are you bringing to me now? And then being able to overcome that and keep
Yeah.
going. And I suppose that's another thing about business and spirituality is one thing you do learn is resilience. Spirituality helps you overcome it, but business makes you freaking face it.
I always say having your own business triggers all your triggers.
Oh yeah,
All your triggers. But yeah, there's all the challenges I've faced over the last couple of years, few years as a family, all of us, there's been a lot of learning and a lot of and yes, I might not be grateful for some of the things that have happened, but I'm certainly grateful for the learning that it's brought.
absolutely.
Mm,
I hear you. And I
mm,
resonate totally with that.
yeah.
But I believe it's in the learning that we grow.
Oh,
It's in the
absolutely.
learning that we get to expand.
Yeah.
It's in the learning that we get to be the people we were always meant to be rather than what we were taught to be. And that's what I love. But I'm venturing off now, so I'm going to bring it back ever so slightly. Geraldine, we've got less than 6 weeks until the event now.
Hmm.
What are you most excited about from the 3 parts of this 2-day event?
Well, one, getting out of the house.
That's
I have
always
been in the
important.
house for 2 months. I've literally only been out of the house to go to the cinema or the supermarket. That's been it. Because I haven't been out. So if I'm a little shell shocked when I get there, I apologize, but I haven't been out very much. I am really looking forward to being in the room with the other nominees that people have booked. It just, I'm seeing who the other nominees are, and many I've been connected with online for a long, long time, but never met face to face,
Yeah,
including yourself. And it will be really, really lovely to actually make those actual in-person connections. It would be really lovely. And October is quite a key time for me because I can get back. I should be able to walk by then. I might have a stick, I might not. I might be wearing trainers, not heels. But I'm driving again, and it's kind of like it's my remission time. It's to get into my remission myself. Um, and so it's going to be kind of that revving up my engine time. So, and I am staying for the full VIP experience the next day as well, because I just want to kind of plug in and make the most of all these people that are there and get that expertise, because my business is getting to that point now where it's next level. I'm moving away from the one-to-one and moving into the one-to-many, and I want to make sure I've got the right support and the right expertise behind me to do it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the great things about scaling is that you get to move from being time constrained to having a bit more time freedom as you level up your expertise. So yeah, so excited. So excited to have you as part of that as well. And
Okay.
yeah, get to meeting you in person. And listen, even if it means that, somehow you're still coming in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter. We will find space for you, and the
Yeah.
venue is totally accessible because that was one of the reasons I booked it. So we can
Mm.
mobility was covered. That is something
All
that
the shoes. What it's my foot keeps swelling up, so it's like I'm no idea what I'm going to put on my feet, but we will we will see.
well, I'm sure that you will pull it out of the bag and you will find the perfect pair of shoes which allow the foot to inflate and deflate all at the same
That's what I keep looking for.
time. Oh, Geraldine, it's been amazing to chat with you today. I'm so grateful to have you as part of this journey for the UK's first Spiritual Entrepreneur Awards.
Mm.
The Business Ascension Symposium and Awards is going to be happening on the 16th of October 2025. To have you in the room with us is just going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to share it all with you. So for those of you watching, go and check out Geraldine. Geraldine, where will we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm Geraldine Crane _ Serene. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. You can't miss me. I'm everywhere. So you will find me.
Brilliant. Go and connect to Geraldine, get a taste of what she does, and then get yourself in the room and make sure you're networking and making the most of this experience. I'll see you soon.